Hello, Next Level creators. I have Kelli Gallant from Hitchflix Media on with me today, and she's going to share her experience getting into Next Level creators and turning one of her video production clients, which she's had before she joined the program, into a recurring commercial campaign client. And how that works, how the dynamics of it work, sort of taking a client that you were doing video production for, turning them into a commercial campaign now after she'd already been producing some videos. And I imagine some of this call will even be some talking about what to do next, which is an exciting thing. So Kelli, welcome, and of course, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So you've been running your video production business for how long now?
About 4 years.
And what made you? I love starting with this. What made you want to be a video creator and get into video production in the first place?
Well, I took a Bachelor of Journalism, and I realized that I really enjoyed the creativity, taking a little bit of time to tell a story through video, taking time on the visuals, the graphics, the sound, and I really enjoy it. And I'm now learning more about the marketing side of it. I find that problem solving part really keeps me going. It doesn't feel like work to me. That's probably why I work way too many hours, but I really enjoy what I do. So
That's great. So love what you do. You're very passionate about it, of course. I can see that just from from how you're talking. And so for 4 years now, and what's your business look like for those first 4 years? Can you walk us through sort of like what kind of clients you were working with, what kind of videos you were shooting?
sure. So I was working for a TV show at the time, and had my first child on the way, and we are like, how's this going to work? We wanted to launch the company because I knew I wasn't going to be able to go back. So I have a friend who's a life coach and wanted to do some videos. And so she was my first client. And then I had another client doing another like online courses. So for the first year or so, it was mostly just online course clients. And that worked. I really liked that work, but they're not the typical client that's going to be able to take on a high budget off the top because they're still building their business as well. And so I could found out very early on that wasn't really going to work for me. And then I started taking on a lot of just naturally in the mortgage world. I got into one of the largest mortgage brokerages in Canada, and through them met other financing companies and other businesses that they work with.
Yeah, so it's snowballed for you there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so starting out in the coaching world, shooting some videos, jumping into mortgages, getting a huge deal, and that turned into many more deals for you, which is awesome. And that's great because the way I say it is everybody says, like Paul says, you shouldn't be relying on referrals. Like, okay, guys, you have to be careful here with the words we're saying. Every great business gets referrals, but to rely on referrals only is a very dangerous game because then we're not relying on something that's predictable, something that's a system in our business that we can invest this and get this output. So that's great that you had the referrals coming in. It shows that you had something of value to offer there to the Canadian marketplace with your videos, which is terrific. And what were the challenges that you were facing at that time? Because 4 years you've worked with these big mortgage companies. What were the biggest problems you were experiencing then?
Sure. Before I answer that, I just want to touch on the word of mouth thing because I have a lot of clients in the past who say like, or people I meet who tell them I have a video production company, and they tell me like, oh yeah, we don't really do video. I rely on word of mouth, or my clients aren't online. I've heard that too. And no, I always tell them that you're giving your business card to somebody to give to their friends, but it's not making it there. They're typing your name into Google, and if you don't have a video or the right campaign that they're landing on the website, they're not going to find you. So the word of mouth thing is always funny to me. But anyways, the challenges. I've got two small children, two kids under the age of 3. And so for me, I knew that I wanted to scale my business and change the structure because I can't be out shooting all the time anymore. And that's not really the part that I love anyways. So I knew that I needed to be able to do more from home and be a lot more flexible with my time and make sure that the time that I'm putting into my business is making me the money that I need to run my business and have my family at the lifestyle that we enjoy.
The freedom, yeah, and that's a big thing here is when you're shooting and you're in the traditional video production model, we really do, you struggle because the only way to earn is when you're shooting, and
Yeah.
then it's editing, and every time that you're making a dime, that's going to the time that you're spending instead of the results you're getting. And so this transition to commercial campaigns, of course, first I want to ask, how did you find Next Level Creators? Where did it come in a newsfeed on Facebook? Was it YouTube, Google? Do you remember where you found or
Yeah,
heard
Facebook.
about us?
Yeah, newsfeed.
Okay. And
Kept seeing the ads. I'm like, okay, what is this?
and what was it that resonated with you that made you decide to really look into Next Level Creators?
um, I don't know if it said this in one of the ads that I saw, but I was already kind of keeping my eyes open for a solution because I knew that, and this goes back to the challenges question, I knew that I needed to be able to offer my clients a way to measure and um, their investment, their ROI, and to prove to them that this was worth it. And my thoughts were, okay, I really need to understand what I'm doing with Facebook ads because I was really tired of giving my videos to my clients and then not really seeing them do as well as I think they could have. And so that's for years I had been kind of keeping my eyes open looking for a solution, knowing very well that I could probably go out there and teach it to myself, but knowing that I don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of your competitors out there and even went so far as to get into a course that had a 30-day guarantee and got in and got out very quickly because I'm like, this isn't it. And so
Yeah.
the connection to really Next Level Creators being creator focused and not about a business. It's not for a business
Yeah.
person to build their business through Facebook ads, but about for a creator to build that business. That was the main thing. And I just knew that I needed to learn more about Facebook ads.
Yeah. So, okay. So learning the distribution aspect and getting clients results because you feel and
Yes.
your creations are good, but
Mhm.
they're not good if they sit on a website and no one sees them. And
Yeah.
I struggle with that myself. And I remember I was infuriated once when I created a video for a client that it was a jewelry appraiser, and I created a website for him, and I charged like $5,000 for the whole thing for both website and video. And they turned around and they hired a marketing company to run ads for $5,000 a month. And I just, my jaw dropped. I hit the floor. I was so stunned. I couldn't believe what was happening. And that was when I really decided to make a change and was like, I can do this. I can figure this out too. Um, so that's great. And so far, really, that was your main motivation, of course, was to make sure you're getting your clients, giving a better impact. You went through our stuff, you looked at it, looked great. And of course, you got on a strategy session with one of our team members. You decided to join. What's your experience been like so far? Because you've only been with us for a couple of weeks, really. I mean, it hasn't been a long time.
Yeah. It's great. There's tons of information and it's really valuable information. It's like said I'd been in other courses and I'm like, I know this already in the other courses. There was so much that wasn't helpful. So there's a ton of information. It's really helpful and it feels like it's created just for me because there's very specific pieces of information that I knew I was missing in my business. The sales training in particular was mind-blowing for me, and I really, after I watched that module, and there's still others that I need to watch, I knew, I'm like, this is really going to change my business, and that was exciting. And like everything, every piece of information I have learned is valuable to me. There's nothing that I was really like, yeah, okay, I know that.
Do you remember what piece of the Earn the Deal sales model really, or the moment you were going through that module where you had that aha moment, like, this is it, this is what I was missing?
Probably, no, I don't remember what it was. It's the whole thing. The whole thing is genius. Like, and makes so much sense now to me, maybe because of the previous weeks of the training. But no, it's just, and I see other people post in the group chat too, like everybody has the same reaction to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It took a long time to put that together and thousands of sales calls to go through. But so far you've gotten in, you started going through the program, you're a couple weeks in, and as I say, like the smartest thing to do as a creator is not to go try to get random strangers and turn them into clients, but to go to people you've already worked with and look at their businesses and go back to them and say, hey, listen, how are your videos working for you? Let's make them work better. Like, let's start distributing these. And that's what you did essentially with a client you were currently in production with, correct?
Yes. I had pitched them on a video concept. And we were in post-production for it actually. And as I started going through the training, and then on the side, through the next level creators training, and then on the side, am working on this project, some things I'm like, that's not written as well as it could be. That's not the right, the question that I should be asking. And so I didn't go back and I kind of did go back and fully change a lot of the script and everything, but not the concept per se. And then I added on the rest of the rest of what you offer in the training, the ad campaign, along with the sales funnel and the website and everything. So it was a no-brainer. And I do also really appreciate what you say in the training too about, like, don't overthink this, what you're doing. And so to me, I can be an overthinker. And I started thinking, like, okay, well, should I look at other niches, and should I think about doing other businesses? I'm like, no, why would I? I know this business. I've been working with these clients for a couple of years now, and they're great clients. And I know that I can hopefully help their business grow.
And you can, and you will, of course, as we go through this process together and set up this first campaign for this client. And so you converted them into a monthly management distribution client. And how much are you making per month from this first deal?
Right now, $1,000. And I went in with something I wanted to make, because I don't have a proof of concept, something I wanted to, make fair. I shouldn't say fair, something I just felt okay with. And then, but with the assumption, with the agreement that in 3 months we're going to revisit this and look at the results, and that could potentially change.
Of course, yeah, and it will. That's exactly what I recommend doing. And people, for anyone who doesn't know what a proof of concept is, it's essentially when you have proof that commercial campaigns work and you've made them work yourself. So that's when you've proven how a commercial campaign works. And lots of our clients do that. They'll go in, they'll give a discount. They'll give what we call an early adopter scholarship, or whatever you want, a fast action incentive, saying, hey, listen, I don't have the results yet, but I'm in this program which shows me exactly how to set up commercial campaigns that sell and distribute them and turn $1 into $5, $10 in return on investment for businesses. and I want to use you as my guinea pig. And I'm going to give you a huge discount to do that. And that's essentially kind of what you did. And that turned into your first $1,000 a month client. So that's already right there, $3,000 for the first 3 months. You're going to revisit it. You're going to get them results because that's the type of person you are. You're in the program with us. And then we're going to revisit that negotiation and say, well, now that we're getting you, 10, 15, whatever the number may be in terms of ROI, let's ramp this up. You're going to earn more and they're going to earn more. And that's that win-win relationship aspect to these types of contracts and these types of client relationships. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing getting to work with less people, but provide a bigger impact for them.
I actually think that potentially this, if I can make this work for this client, I may be able to have enough income, an income that was similar to what I was doing previously, hustling and trying to find all these other clients and my previous business. I think I could do this with this one client because of because of their business.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, you can go from essentially running around using hope marketing, relying on referrals, just wondering where that next deal is coming from, really hustling your tail off in the video job to job market, to getting one client, getting them results, and then replacing your entire income, spending only a couple hours a week doing it. And when people see that happen, it's a culture shock in a sense to think that that's possible. And then from there, of course, we get into all the other things of scale that happen after that. But like we say, don't overthink it, one step at a time.
Yeah.
So with where you're at now, you got your first client, and we're in the stages of producing the commercial campaign, setting it up. Have you been through some of that training yet? Of course, I don't know where you're at with the Facebook training and things. Have you been through some of that yet? And how is the process going so far?
I have been. I was hoping that I was going to be able to launch everything next week, but I think I'm going to need another week for that. And the training is really great. There's a ton of information. It's definitely, I've had to go back and rewatch things and say, like, okay, did I understand this correctly and how's that going to work? The hardest challenge for me is because I had this concept before, and I should say, I'm doing an interactive video. So people are going to the video and they're answering some questions and clicking on it. So because of that concept, it's not fitting super easily. It's not, there's some challenges a little bit, but also that's because of not having this proof of concept to show that the way let's just set everything up the way that you've outlined it, because this is going to work. So sorry, what was the question? Yeah,
so it's basically, it was like, how is the Facebook training?
Oh yeah, how's it going?
And how are you going through this process? Has it been, and like you said, you think you're going to need another week, and that's good. Honestly, I would much rather slow things down and do them properly any day of the week than try to rush through something and make costly mistakes, which is what most people do, right? They just go to YouTube thinking they can figure stuff out and then follow some random thing. But you never know what you don't know. And when you're trying to do that, you're just going to spend hours, weeks, days searching for things, not knowing what's real. And that's kind of the shortcut you're getting, is you're seeing, yes, it is work. But the good news is once we set it up properly, we can be really successful with this, and it doesn't take much work to maintain. That's the beauty of it. So great. And of course, after this call, you guys won't be on with us, but we're going to jump into the campaign and talk a little bit about it and how to set it up. But for everyone who's listening here, I'm kind of curious, where do you see yourself going now that you're next level creators? You have this first client. We're going to get them a proof of concept. A year from now, where do you see yourself at with your business, and how are things changing?
Well, I have my goals set out on a whiteboard beside me here. And by from 12 months after I started the course, I want to be making 6 figures. And that will be um, almost double probably what I made with my previous, when I was just doing my own production company. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And if we can't get you there much faster, which I think we can, and we'll talk about that after this, but that's good. Yeah. 6 figures in 12 months. That's a big deal. And to be able to do it with just a few clients that are creating predictable revenue, I mean, I'm sure that's going to give you, and you, as you said, it's going to give you that security, kind of that ability to feel comfortable and not stress out so much about where that next deal is coming from and having to hustle constantly.
Yeah, totally. And the long-term vision too is I would like to have a larger company with team members underneath me working on the same programs essentially for other niches and regions.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. And so dominating Canada all over.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome. So, Kelly, and then the next question I always like to ask here, kind of to end these interviews, is just if you were to talk to yourself before you join Next Level Creators, you know, I don't know, I didn't ask, but were you skeptical of the whole thing, of us, and like what you saw online? Did it resonate really well with you, or were you skeptical and like, nah? What were you
Yeah,
thinking?
I was skeptical for sure.
And what would you say to yourself now, having joined, been in the community, surrounded yourself with everyone who's in there, gone through the program to the parts that you've been through so far? What would you tell yourself before you joined?
Just go for it, I guess. And it's definitely worth it. The community, as you said too, is there's something, like I said, I've been in a few of these other competitors programs, and the community is unique. Everybody is very intelligent, creative, very willing to help, and very motivated, and it just really motivates me to work harder as well. So the community is a huge aspect for sure. I guess just having the faith that in myself to know that I can work hard, and the belief that this is the right program for me, it was really just made me make that leap. And I do want to say I was skeptical, and I looked really hard to find like, okay, who's going to tell me about this program online, and what are they going to say about it? And I found some other skeptics out there as well, but the reasoning was really it just didn't have a lot of weight in it with me. It just sounded like people who were too scared to take the leap and work hard to make a change in their life.
Yeah, and I've been there, you know. I've been there where you're looking at something and you're like, that can't be real, or this person's not, this can't be, like, all I have to do is work hard, right? What does that really mean? But at the end of the day, that is the truth. I mean, if you have the right plan and you know what to focus on, right? We talk about income producing activities. If you know what those are, if you know how to do them, it's just a process of iterating them. You use them, you iterate. Did it work? No. Fix it. Didn't it work? No. Come to the community. Get my feedback. I'm going to help you put your message together. Let's do it again. Did this campaign work? No. Let's change the ad to this. All right, now it's working. It's a constant evolution. And if you're not willing to work through those different things, then this won't work for you. And I 100% agree. And I'm happy that you joined, because I believe, I mean, I commit everything I have to our community and to our clients just like you. And I appreciate having you guys here. And so thank you very much for sharing your experience so far. I'm looking forward to doing an interview again in a year and talking about how it went from you getting from where you are now to 6 figures.
I hope that's the case. Look forward to it.
Thanks, Kelly.